Make me. Oh my god, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. We made it through another week. Hi, guys. Let's check to make sure everything's going right. Oh no. Why? Why? There we go. NVDA is freshly updated, so we'll see what that does today. So nothing ever goes wrong for me when I do an update, right? It's Sunday. It's the first Sunday in October. We have got a lot going on this month. So, settle in. I have a fresh cup of hot tea. It's, in fact, too hot to drink right now, which totally happens. That's fair. My phone should bing at me here in a hot second telling me I've gone live. Always good times. And hopefully, with any luck, everyone's able to find me today. Good morning, guys. Or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Good evening, if you're also. Hello, Melanie. Tracy. Your tea is just steeping? My tea is right beside me here. It's technically steeping. I mean, it's an orange peacock from Tetley, which is what I grew up drinking. So, like, the tea bag will just stay in the mason jar of hot water. But I poured it, like, 7 minutes ago, so it's too hot to drink. Asa, good evening. How was your Sunday today? Mine is just getting underway. I woke up to a lovely, rainy, cool weather day today. So I took my keister outside and metaphorically touched grass. I'm not actually going to touch grass, but I went outside and did some enjoyment of the outdoors now that it's not gross and hot outside. You know, the things you do. All right, I don't know what I did this week. I had plans and they flew out the window before we even got off the live. So we're going to continue the stream of it's the beginning of October, so everything goes pachoo! And we're just gonna make do, right? It's the 4th, and I already have more than I can accomplish in a month on my plate, and I'm trying to add more. Of course I am. It's me, right? That's how we do things. I think our best bet is I'm just going to start grabbing things off the table and we will discuss things as we run across them. How does that sound? Are you too hot to even touch? Oh, yeah, you're still a little hot to the touch. No tea for me at this moment in time. What in the world am I looking at here? I've misplaced my first front panel for the Mallow cardigan. So I have my second front panel for the Mallow cardigan and we're about 2 or 3 inches shy of being finished, but I want to measure it against the first panel. So, there'll be some cleaning today. So you guys can see. I did about 4 or 5 rows. Let's show the right side out instead of the pearl side out, shall we? This is the I'd Like a Fresh Bowl colorway from Fireweed Fiber Co. The lovely Erin is the dyer. I mean, we all know this, guys. We all know I love Erin. I've got this going on. I am at about 24 inches in length, and I need 26 and a half because it is a dropped shoulder seam for the Mallow cardigan. So I'm going to go until I get to 26 inches and can finish cleaning up from all of the move from the office and the seasonal change. So there's just stuff everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. And I was very distracted this week. So I did a little bit of work on a lot of projects. Did I do a lot of work on one project to make any significant? No, I did not. I did not. Also, I'm really glad you're having a proper fall. I am hopeful that we'll get fall now. We're done with the 30-degree freaking temperatures and the humidexes. That'd be really freaking nice. Oh, you know what I could do? I could show my swatches. I was watching the Fiber Friends. Poor Cheryl. She talked about how she wanted to do a Halloween sweater. A lot of us got excited and said we'd do a Halloween sweater with her. And then in the last Fiber Friend, she's like, changed her mind. She was just going to do a Halloween gnome because Imagine Landscapes has a Halloween mystery gnome along going on. So if you've never done a mystery gnome along because at Christmas, you ain't got the time, you could do a pumpkin or a witchy themed mystery gnome if that's something you would like to do. Fair. I'm the same way. I look at the mystery gnome along in December and go, like, really, I'm pretty tight on time in December. But a Halloween sweater, I was on board with that. So Cheryl was saying on the podcast on Saturday that she didn't think she was going to do a sweater. She was going to do the gnome instead. And of course, both those of us who are casting on sweaters were like, well, I mean, we're casting on a sweater. So I think we've guilt-tripped Cheryl into starting a Halloween sweater. To be fair, she started this whole process, so I don't feel that bad for her. Am I casting on a Halloween sweater? Oh, you betcha I am. Any and every excuse for more Halloween in my life, I'll take it. I do have my swatches, and then I already have drama with my cast on. I drop a stitch in my webbing, so I had to start my cast on again. That's fine. I went so far as during the Patreon e-knit yesterday, Patreon members watched me make a Ravelry project page, which everyone can tell you is pretty freaking rare for me to do. So I have a project page. It has notes. It's got the yarn listed. It has the needle size I'm using, and it has the cast on number of stitches I'm using because I am making the fall collection sweater from Bad Wolf Girl Designs. And I'm doing it in a poison mane color from Smiley Sheep, which is this green here on the top. And my color work is going to be in the slutty pumpkin colorway from Tristan the Dragon Horde Yarns. Now, just envision this as a sweater. I know. The boys are a genius. The boys helped me pick out this color. I did not do it on my own. My friends helped me. But this is fingering weight yarn. And the sweater's written in DK weight yarn. So I had to do a little mathy math. Being me and the fact that I can't see fingering weight stitches anymore, I crowdsourced my stitch gauge by taking some very clear photos, posting them on Patreon, or sorry, on the Discord for Patreon members, and going, help! How many stitches are there? Oh, hi, Tracy. So, it's fine. We did that. I did the math. I figured out in fingering weight to get the number of stitches I needed to get around the person. That would be me. I need 336 stitches. That's fine. It's fingering weight yarn. That sounds about right. I've made fingering weight yarn sweaters before. I am a 52, technically 52 at a bit inch bust, a 52 inch bust. I tend to make 48 or 50-inch sweaters. I prefer to have my shoulders fit and just have the girls pronounced because, let's be honest, they look huge in a turtleneck. So, like, I can wear a men's 6L sweater and make my body shape disappear, but, like, that's a commitment to a very big size. I am not normally. It's fine, and I'm comfortable with my shape the way it is. So I'm going to make the second largest size in the pattern, because it's written for a DK weight yarn, but it will fit me at about a 49-inch bust, because I ended up going with the 340 stitch, 340 stitch count body instead of the 336 I technically need to fit perfectly in here. So I'll have a little bit of positive ease in my shoulders. I will have a ton of negative ease in the girls, which is normal, and then I will have relaxed fit everywhere else. So we have that. We have the needles. We did the swatches. I cast it on, and then I dropped stitches in my ribbing. Because that is what happens for me. So I have recast it on. I don't know where my yarn is gone in here. This is just stacks of yarn. So I've recast it on. I'm started. I've got a little over. I got all my stitches on. I need to connect in the round and I need to start again. I was going to do it last night and then I realized I had to count stitches and keep track of the number of rows and play D&D at the same time. Well, there's a lot of math in D&D, so I decided no. So I'm going to get started on this today while I do video editing for videos this week, because they'll have some downtime and I'll be able to count and keep numbers in my head for that. Also, I am glad that you are working on the front panel of your October vest. I started the lace charts for the Talia. All of the shaping in the Talia is in the lace vest, so I'm putting that aside because I need to finish the mallow, so I don't think I'm going to get a vest done by the end of October vests knit along, which irritates me, but I want the vest to be correct because the shaping is in the lace work, so like I cannot muck that up. So Blanket wise, we'll talk about blankets here in a hot second. Ooh, it's Erin. Hi, Erin. How's it going? Yeah, I'm excited. The Smiling Sheep yarn is the first time working in that. It's the first time for me to work in Tristan's Dragon Horde yarns as well. So those are both new to me. So the swatching is super necessary. Super necessary. Okay, what else we got on here? What else is on my table? I have a bag of stuff at my feet too, by the way. So it isn't just the stuff on the table. Don't you worry. Project bags. I couldn't stay focused this week, so there's a lot of cast-ons. Like there's a lot of cast-ons this week. And when I start to think about it, it makes sense. I do that a lot in the first week of October. Oh, this is my sock. Okay, so I started a sock the other week before. I think it was a week before. I was talking to you guys about it. I needed a cast on at like midnight, so I went into my sock yarn stash, pulled out a ball that was like 75, 80 grams, and was like, "You'll do for a sock." I made a little bit of progress coming down the foot. So as you guys can see, I've got a little more foot of a sock done. Not a bunch, but a bit. This is one of those I pick it up when I'm like waiting for the bus or I'm going to an appointment. Like we all know me and socks. They're putter projects for me. So good news is I have located and I put in its project bag that little mini ball of olive yarn for that funny, like the funny toe heel sock combo that sock I'm making. So I can do the heel on that sock if I want to. I found it the other day. So I can actually make some progress on an older sock whip now because I've located the yarn. It was going to bound to happen sooner or later, right? Right? Hey, Suzanne, I'm glad you made it. That's okay. I'm going to see if I can drink my tea. It occurred to me when I sat down that I haven't spoken all day. Tea. It's still really hot. Ooh. Okay. No, let's talk about the fun stuff last. Let's keep going on the stuff that we need to talk about. Let's talk granny squares. I may have heard just a smidge of poking fun at me from Louise about how many granny squares I've been working on. I am behind on my granny square challenge for the year. My goal was an hour a day. I'm currently sitting 9 hours behind now. I was like, how many granny square hours did I put in this week versus how many hours were this week? So it's like, quick, add 7, take away what I worked on. I'm 9 hours behind. I have a full, like, little granny square multi-squared project situation set up. It's a long-term blanket for me. I want to make it out of 2 advents from Erin Fireweed Fabrico, and they're going to make up the corners, and then I'm going to make the middle of the blanket up with scrap yarn. I am either holding DK single strand or fingering weight doubled, so it will be a DK weight blanket. And I've got a bunch of little squares. So I made a few more little squares this week. It's hard because almost all of my other granny projects are the traditional granny square, not the solid granny square. So the number of times I want to make this a regular granny square instead of a solid granny square is intense. I rip out way more than I crochet. But I've made a couple. This is some leftover DK I have from Erin, and I've just got it sitting here at the computer. And when I've got a few moments or spare second, I've got the crochet hook here because it's a 4mm crochet hook. I am just working through a small ball of scrap. So slow and steady wins the race with big old blanket projects. The assembly of this is also going to take an insane amount of time because I know I'm going to do some sort of, I think like lead gray color in between. And I want to get it set up so it looks like it's a sort of a color mosaic stained glass situation. So there's going to be a lot of fiddling and placing for these squares once I've got them all made. But I need something like 700 of them to make a blanket. And I'm nowhere near 700. Nowhere near 700. So it just right now we're at make small squares. We're just making small squares, and that's what we're going to do for whatever's going to feel like forever and a hot minute. Okay. I have so much. I could have been more productive, but I was not. Okay, next up, what do we got going on here? I think we're out of stuff on the table. We're done with stuff on the coffee table, or on the coffee table, computer table. That's okay. I have a whole bag full of stuff. Don't worry about it. We've got more to go. What do we want to talk about? What are you? Oh, sure. We'll talk about you next. Asa sends me patterns. Well, I mean, everybody sends me patterns and links to things. And she sent me one, and I thought it was really, really cute. I liked the construction method. I liked what she was trying to do, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. It's a crocheted sweater, and it's got a V-neck. And I'm like, okay, you're super cute. I'm not, I mean, it makes sense because I think it was like her first sweater pattern. There's not a real, there's not a really good size range to it. So I was like, okay, I need to write up like a recipe situation so other people can just make one that's similar. It's not quite the same because I'm making some changes, but that's okay. I'm making a crocheted sweater, obviously. Mine's going to be DK weight. And so far, I know that I'm going to use 2 DK weight yarns together. One of them is, unshockingly, one of Erin of Fireweed Fabrico's colorways. This is Don't Speak Latin in Front of the Books. The gray is a Barocco vintage gray. They're both DK weight. Right now, I'm thinking the gray should be the hem, cuffs, and neckline, and then the Don't Speak Latin in Front of the Book should be the body of the sweater. That is my current thought on the process. I just like the idea of a color contrast for the cuffs and stuff. And I've got, oh my God, there's so much yarn, and I'm winding my hair. Ooh, this is a problem for me. I have technically a 4-inch hem at the bottom of the sweater. I don't know exactly where I'm going to have the sweater end, but I want to do ribbing, so I'm doing the single crochet through the back loop ribbing. I'm working on the back panel first. Might end up being a cropped sweater, just given the style that I want to go for, or at the very least a proper waistline sweater. So this is not going to be a long sweater. I'm going to use the ribbing to create the illusion of a cinched in waist. So there's going to be an extra bit of fabric at the top that we're going to create by adding some additional stitches to make our waistlines look smaller. It's a Victorian trick, and we're going to utilize it for this sweater we're doing. So ideally, I get this done. At some point, it gets very repetitive to count to 20 consistently to make sure your ribbing stays correct. And even then, my ribbing still gets a little mucked, whatever. Once I've got my back panel to the correct measurements, I will then add the extra stitches in the Don't Speak Latin in Front of the Books colorway, and we're going to do the back panel. I do want to do a slightly set-in sleeve or a drop sleeve. I haven't decided on that yet, and I do need to take a look at how to create the V-neck front that I want, which will be more complicated than the back panel. So we're starting with the back panel because that's easier for me to set aside, do, and then start writing instructions for. It's going to be a free recipe crochet pattern. So there will be no estimated amount of yarn for it. It will have the crochet hook size, the yarn I used, how much yarn I used for my size, so you can sort of figure out what you need. And then I'm going to walk everybody through step by step and how to make it so that it fits them perfectly, which is why I'm not going to include yardage measurements or sizing measurements, because you're going to need a tape measure and a calculator. And you're going to need to know how to push plus, minus, and the multiplication points on your calculator to get the sweater. It just lets me offer the pattern for free is what it is, because then I'm making my size, I'm writing out the instructions on how to make it, but you're filling in the numbers, which is a big bulk of the work for pattern design. So it lets me offer the crochet pattern for free, which I would prefer to do. Oh my goodness. Stuff's happening in chat. Oops, Susanna's saying hi to everybody. Excellent. That's fine. The ribbing's going to take forever and a hot minute to get done. I don't know if I wanted to finish it so that it's cropped, so just like finishes just under the girls, or if I want to go down to like the natural waistline. It is, for me, going to be something I wear with a cami underneath or a tank top underneath and a skirt, or over top of a dress. So it has a very specific niche location in my wardrobe. It'll also be really good when I'm either chatting with you guys here on stream or when I'm streaming on Twitch, because it's not going to be a very long sweater, so I'm not going to accidentally sit on it when I'm sitting in my chair. So it's not going to restrict any or hamper any of my movements while I'm sitting in the computer chair. So that is the plan. I got stuck on the idea. I've been thinking about it for weeks. And because, of course, it's October. And what do I do in October? I cast on everything except for what I'm supposed to be working on. Here we are. And this is what we've been doing. All right. I'm going to try to do another sip of tea. It's still too hot, though. Oh, yeah. Hot bevy. So good. So good. Okay. What else did I get distracted with this week? Everything. Everything. Ooh. All right, we've got. Oh, yeah. This is Louise's fault. Okay, we'll talk about that next. I'm absolutely willing to throw someone under the bus about this one. All right, let's go over the granny squares because that's the next big thing. We only got two. We got two run-of-the-mill things to talk about. Then we can talk about the Friday night check-in that just happened. Oops, wait, maybe. Hang on the thingy. Okay, I have an adjustable desk. So you untwist the screws and the desk can go up and the desk can go down. So sometimes when I need to stand and I can't sit for hours at a time because of my knee and my foot, I can raise my desk up. And then when I can sit and I need to sit because of my knee and my ankle and it changes, the desk can come down. Right now we're in a down stage because my physio has my ankle and my knee quite tired, so I prefer to sit when I have to be working. Sometimes when I'm between physios, I want to stand more, so it gets adjusted, as it were. More granny square talk. Maybe? We are continuing the Great Marled Blanket Project. I am fairly certain we're not going to do a full bed for this one. I keep holding up the squares that I have finished, and I'll show you my stack of squares here, against my chair that I like. I had a couch with my dad's help, because no one should arm me with an implement that's power tool related ever. He helped me hack the couch apart. Aaron helped me unupholster the couch down to the frame to make sure we could do this. And we turned that couch into a chair. Now, the chair upholstery fabric that I had was a very, very dark brown navy coloring and a gold pinstripe, like a gold stripe down it. So when I hold up the marled squares next to it, it's got a very nice, moody, couchy, comfy, squishy vibe. So I'm gonna make it the throw for the chair. Does that mean it's gonna get exponentially smaller than compared to a queen size bed? Yes. Is it going to be throw size? Lord, no. I don't buy commercial throws because, like blanket throws for couches and stuff, because they are too dang short. They're too short. They're not wide enough. I cannot nap under them. And I'm not even 6 feet tall because it doesn't cover enough of me to nap. So this one's still going to be like obscenely large for a chair throw. It's fine. That's what I want, but it means we've got more granny squares to make. So did I make as much progress on this as I was supposed to? No, I was going to work on it last night, and then I got distracted by a whole web cardigan crochet situation. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll talk about it. So this is the progress I've made on the current square I'm working on. As you can tell, our rows aren't too big, but you say, Jocelyn, it was bigger yesterday. You were right, it was bigger the other week. However, I finished that one. And because I am cleaning, you'll be happy to know I found all of my squares. Where did they go? They're over here. All of them. Oh my god, so much. This is going to be a very comfy, heavy blanket. We have one big square. We have two big squares. Oh, I'm not done. Ooh, that made a satisfying thwomp sound when I hit the ground. We have three big squares. We have four big squares. So I'm on big square number 5. So once we're done big square number 6, I will lay them out side by side. I'll lay one out and the other out, and I'll decide if that's wide enough. Note, it has to be wide enough not only for me to nap under, but for my cat to nap beside me because she likes laying on yarn blankets. And if it is, then we will go up at a height so that I can tuck my toes in and I'm covered to my shoulders, because if I want a blanket, I want a blanket, or I don't want a blanket. Oh my god, who's calling me? Spam, that's who's calling me. All right. Each square is 26, 27 stitches on the round. I check to make sure that the rounds don't vary in size by making sure this edge identically matches another square edge from a square that's already completed. So I'm on square 5 of 6. At that point, when I've got 6 squares, I will lay it out and I will figure out if it's wide enough. And if it is, then the great debate on what neutral color I'm going to put in here to connect the squares and to like pull the whole look together I'm going to do. So there's going to be a border. We're obviously in the basic granny square. So I'm going to do a granny square connect. So I'll do a row of the neutral color and then I will connect to another square. So there'll be technically 2 rows of granny square between each square so that you get a nice solid line. And then the outside will just probably be like a half double crochet edge and then like a single crochet round to finish it all off. It's nice, simple, nothing complex. We're just working on the sizing. And because now we want this is like a lap nap chair kind of blanket, I should be done relatively shortly. It should also eat up a lot of hours in my Granny Square challenge. Hey, Jude. How's it going? I've got yarn everywhere. Oh, yes. As I blow my nose. I grew up on Tetley. I usually flip between like Tetley or Stash teas. Sometimes if I can get my hands on whoever makes that raspberry royale, I'll do that. And whenever possible, I buy local loose leaf tea from here in the city. Usually the Amsterdam Tea Room. They make an amazing mint. It's not as good as the mint from the small tea house in Halifax. Like you do what you can, right? Like I don't live on the East Coast. I can't just pop over to Halifax and get a cup. So it's fine. I prefer when I can and I can afford to buy loose leaf teas from small indie tea makers. However, in a big box, in a stack, on top of my tea cabinet, and yes, I have a cabinet of tea, there sits a box of Tetley Orange Pea Coke because I like Tetley Orange Pea Coke. My parents like Tetley Orange Pea Coke. Mr. B likes a Tetley Orange Pea Coke. So it is, for me, that is the standard black tea. I still have some black loose leaf tea from Germany. I love tea. I love varieties of teas, so it's fine. I get tea samplers for Christmas, and I get excited. It's a thing. Gnomes and blankets got to get done, Jude. You are correct. I was very thoroughly informed. I am to forget that the Imagine Landscapes Gnome Along is happening right now, and I am to be surprised at Christmas. I am happy to follow instructions. All right, let's tuck this blanket and yarn square away because we're not going to work on that. I have no idea what yarns are in the marled yarn one. I don't know. They're just random scrap yarn. It's helping me deal with my stash. You guys, I'm publishing that video this week. It's edited. It's ready to go out. It's scheduled to go out this week. Oh, if I got... I have a sizable collection of yarn. And it's not that I want less yarn. I want more yarn. I don't have the right worsted acrylic greens to make the eyeballs. I don't have the right blacks for a black cardigan. And I do need a black cardigan in my life because it's a staple piece. I need a black cardigan. So there's a lot I don't have that I need to get, and I don't have space. So we're working through the scraps as much as possible on scrap busting projects just to use up those odds and ends and bits and bobs and stuff. But whoa, what do you guys hear the total? Yes. 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 That's the tea house. Melanie, that's the tea house. So good. I love their mint tea so because it's like mint in the cup and then mint in a 12-foot diameter around you. They make whoever is their tea guy in that place or tea woman, I don't know, is yeah, chef's kiss. My favoriteest teas. However, I can walk to the Amsterdam tea room from where I live because I live in the city here, and I can just get tea rather than trying to get it shipped to me, which wouldn't really be happening right now anyway, unless I want to pay for delivery services. Well, 2 shelves is a good amount of tea, Melanie. I have, what's it called? Do you ever see those corner bakery racks? I think it's called a bakery rack. It's usually our grandmothers would have had it, our mothers would have had it, like our great aunts have it. Technically, I'm an aunt, so that makes sense. And it's got you got the little shelf at the bottom, and then they got the nice middle shelf, which is kind of big, and then they do like a tier or two atop of that. I think it's called a bakery rack. Could be wrong. Mine's beautiful. It's made out of wrought iron and wood. It looks gorgeous. It's tucked in the corner of my kitchen. And from top to bottom, it's tea. Tea bags, tea leaves, tea pots, my milk and sugar container for when I want to do, because I have a proper teapot. My teacups consume 2/3 of the top shelf of one of my cabinets for other things, and they are matched teacups to tea saucers. So like I can do a proper English tea because I even have the trays that fold out. You can put little dainties on. So I can do a full English service in my own apartment. I have too much tea stuff. However, it's fine. Most of the time, I consume a lot of mint. I consume a lot of fruit, cold teas in the summer, and in the winter, I tend to consume a lot of decaf, darker teas, like decaf chais, or not rooibos otherwise, but I will do a good chai. And the Tetley Earl Grey or a stash. Pick a stash tea. I have yet to find one that I don't really like. There's some where I'm kind of like, but most of them I really enjoy. But I love tea. I just have to be careful because there are some companies where what they have in the tea or their extras in the tea make a lot of their tea unapproachable for me. David's tea, if I'm careful, I can have some of David's tea stuff. If I'm careful, I can do some of, what's that new one that took over? Oh, you get too fancy and I can't have it because then you have dextrose in there, you've got marshmallows in there, you've got bits of chocolate bar in there. Like I can't do any of that stuff. I can't because that's all got corn in it. It's all got corn in it. I cannot touch it. But it tends to be your calming blends or your herbal blends. I tend to be okay with those. And I hate the flower scented stuff. It just makes me sneeze. Just gross. Just, I can't. If it's got rose in it, I don't want it. Hibiscus, keep it the F away from me. I don't like the smell. It turns me off entirely. I'm just not a fan. But the herbals, the dark, black, rich teas, the spicy teas, the fruit teas, bring it on. Just keep the flowers away from me and keep the fun named super mix ones away because those tend to have corn on them. Yes, it's a dragon duck. And yes, Jude, a full English service. I don't do it very often. I've got a girlfriend who comes over with her husband. He's from India, so he will bring the tea and I'll brew the water because my God, that man can make a cup of tea. And I'll make little sandwiches and stuff, and they'll make the little cakes, and we'll set up a whole little English tea service, and we'll sit down and we do it usually about once every other month or so. We sit down and we chat and catch up with each other because all three of us have very busy lives. But yeah, no, it's a full English. One day I will try clotted cream. I have yet to do so. But yes, have you not seen my dragon ducky? Wrong direction. Right direction. This is my dragon ducky. Look, it's a dragon. That's also a rubber ducky. Mr. B's mom took to the I like rubber ducky theme and ran with it. And she's not. I have rubber duckies. There are rubber duckies everywhere. There are rubber duckies in boxes that come out seasonally. I've got rubber duckies. But we gotta a dragon rubber ducky. Because I can. And I wanted it on display. It's dragon rubber ducky. Why not? It's not the weirdest thing I own. Oh, is there a stuffy? Big yellow dude. That might be something else. Where is my big yellow duck? No, I can't see it. Yes, I understand. I have bad vision. Oh, over here. You are Yoshi. It's my Yoshi stuffy. Yoshi stuffy. It's Yoshi. It's my Yoshi stuffy. I wanted to put, there's a little stuffed pig that I have. Okay, he's not little. He's kind of hork and huge. He's called Master. He's also from an anime. But he wouldn't fit on the shelf. Yoshi fits on the shelf. I also have a giant stuffed boba tea out of frame. And a articulate stuffed teddy bear made out of my great-grandmother's fur coat. In the living room, there's just a bowl full of stuffies. I'm not an adult. All right. I also technically have my newest yarn bowl chilling up on the top shelf of the bookcase right now. Because I can. All right, let's talk about what distracted me the most recently. Recentness? That's not a word. Most recently. There we go. That's English. I swear I know how to speak my own language. Here I am Saturday morning, aggressively cuddling my bed, watching the Fiber Friends on my phone, which means I can't see anything. I'm just listening. I'm listening. We all know I'm listening, right? Like I don't generally watch any YouTube. I just listen. And Louise starts talking about sweaters. And Cheryl starts talking about sweaters. And I heard chat gently chide Cheryl for getting us all excited about Halloween sweaters and then not making one. So I think we've talked her back into making a Halloween sweater. So we were looking at Halloween sweaters. And then I heard Louise go, oh, well, this is a Jocelyn sweater because it looks like a spider web. And I was like, hello, what's this? So I looked it up. She's not wrong. It would go over a tank top. Great. It'd be nice. It'd be light. And given the very, very warm weather I tend to have in October these days, for the last couple of years anyway, wouldn't be a bad option. I didn't quite like how the sleeves were done, but that's fine. There are more than one spider web inspired sweater out there on Ravelry, so I kept looking. And we found another one. We took a look at it. We liked how it looked, but we didn't like the size range, and we didn't like the price tag. If you're gonna charge, do the math. If I have to do the math, don't charge. That's sort of my general rule of thumb, mostly because I know how much work the math is. So like if you're not going to grade out, you've made a great sweater, you've made one for yourself, that's excellent. I'm not paying more than $10 Canadian to access a pattern that has 4 sizes, 5 sizes. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I can't talk about it on the podcast. So I looked at that one for a while. Then I looked at a couple of other ones. And I liked like the shoulder design of one, or I liked the sleeve of another, or I couldn't find one where I liked all of the elements. So being me, I just went, well, how hard can it be to make a spiderweb sweater? So I casted one on. Of course I did. I decided to make my life a bit easier for myself. I wanted a bit of structure, and I wanted it to go fast because we are already out of time and it's the start of the month. So I'm working in leftover bulky weight yarn, that bulky weight blanket Burnett that I was working in last month for the brioche, and I've started and I have figured out how to make this into a rectangle for a back piece once the web is big enough. So I needed to keep working on making the web big enough. I went with a very tight gauge. I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook on a bulky yarn. So she's stiff, and I want her to be stiff, otherwise she'll be way too drapey and she won't have any shape or form. So when I make one in a lighter weight yarn, which I probably will do, I will correspondingly go down a number of hook sizes so that I got structure going on so that it'll maintain its shape. However, this is what I was doing last night. I was making spiderweb circles and then folding them in half till I got the right amount of squares, like or the right amount of spaces between where each corner would be, so that I would have one space at the top where we were doing an edge, and then we'd have a corner, but we would have two spaces down the side so that I make a rectangle, not a square, because backs are not square, they are rectangular. So I've got this part figured out. This is going to be open and mesh the whole way, but I don't want a lot of excess bulky, essentially rope in my arm area. So we need to have a set-in sleeve, and I want it to be a bit of a balloon sleeve. So I need a snug cuff, which means I also need a hem and a neckline. So just making my life difficult by nitpicking what I want. Same idea. I'm going to write it out. I will walk everybody through the very basic and easy math. And then I will just simply release it for free, because it will, the one size I will have worked out will be my size, and the rest of it will be a sort of like, here, I will hold your hand as we walk through how to make it so that it fits you perfectly, with a tape measure, a calculator, a crochet hook, and a set of instructions on how to do the stitches and stuff. So we're going to do that. However, that means at like midnight, when I finally figured this out, I went to bed because I was tired. It shouldn't take me too long because, well, it took me 3 hours to figure out how to make my rectangle, and that was the hardest part for me. The rest of it I've done before. I've done set-in sleeves, I've done decreases, I've done increases, I've made necklines, I've done bell sleeves. All of the other things I want, I have already made before. The only new thing to me was turning my spiderweb circle into a mesh rectangle. That was the part I had to figure out on my own. So we have figured it out, and now I can just get crack-a-lackin', and this is all I want to do. Like I was contemplating trying to work on this before we went live. I opted to have lunch instead, which I feel like was the right choice. Why with the spam today? Silly Jeebus. It's Sunday. I am not picking up a 1-800 number. I mean, it wouldn't on a Tuesday either. Dumb bums. All right. Probably somebody saying my car's broken or something, or I owe something on my car that's non-existent. Whatever dumb scam they're running right now. So this has been my current brainchild. This has consumed all of my headspace. Everything else has been executively dropped. I'm supposed to be through. I only have 8 rounds of ribbing on my fall collection sweater, and then I can get into charts, and we all know I love a color work chart, and I need to be past the sleeves before I'm in the car, like in a week and a couple of days from now. So I do not have time for this. I do not have time for this. And my brain's already like, do you think I could sneak in making a dress to put under this? Somebody tell me no. Somebody tell me no. I do not have time. I don't have time for this. Here's my loop. This is where I'm currently at right now. However, it's happening. It's happening. The trick will be, can I stop myself from immediately casting on a DK weight version once I'm done the bulky version? Do I have enough yarn for this and for my sister's mittens? Yeah, I really do. I have so much of this bulky yarn left. It's crazy pants. So, I got distracted and that happened. And here we are. I'm actually just going to leave this out because that's what I want to work on as soon as we're done this. I've got video stuff to write, but I don't want to. I want to work on my crochet projects. Oh, I missed a message from Melanie. Oh my God, Melanie, that would be amazing. Melanie, if you go with wedding cake toppers as duckies, we're going to need photos. That's worth getting a photo of. Tracy, you're not wrong. And my brain went, I do have all of this lovely stretchy, which is an absolute royal nightmare to sew, and that's fine. Medium gray. I want to say like it's a rayon. I think it's a rayon. It's a knit anyway. It's a very stretchy knit. And I've always wanted to make a maxi dress out of it, like a peasant style top maxi dress with bell sleeves. And I'm like, that gray with like this red cardigan thing over top would look so cute. I don't have time to make a dress. I don't have time to make a dress. I do not have time to make a dress. Erin, we might be making a dress on Thursday. I can't help myself. I have a problem. Is there an anonymous group for crafters? Absolutely. Thanks, Melanie. That's okay, Nikki. You made it. That's the important part. I've suffered a case of I can't decide what to work on, so I'm casting on all the things because it's October, which, not unusual. And Tracy is very conveniently enabling my desire to make a dress to go under a spider web crochet cardigan. If I make it, there'll be photos. Don't worry. I don't know. Where even is that gray fabric? Oh, no, it's in the closet of doom. Yeah, I have a closet full of fabric. I don't want no judgments, people. I don't have a closet for my clothes. I have a closet for my fabric. Oh, what are you going to do? All right, the last thing we've got for talking about today is the Halloween cowl for secret crafting. I may have purchased, and by may have, I did purchase 3 additional Halloween cowls. Oops. They were on sale. So it's like, I already had one. So now I have 4 different color work, kind of bandana shaped Halloween cowls. Like, I cannot make all 4. I could not decide which of the 4 I wanted to start with. So I brought all the pattern names and quick descriptions to the check-in with Louise on Friday. And I was like, I'll get people to vote. I don't want to make a decision. I'm going to let somebody else decide for me. We had a great collection. They're all a longer triangle in the front, but like a bandana, it gets narrower across the back. The options were Witch's Brew, witch themed, Halloween, which had some ghosty goos and bats and stuff, Venomous, spider themed, and then the Haunted House. Now, could I have also purchased her MCAL for this year? Absolutely. Did I? No, I did not. Will I likely buy it when it's all finished? Probably. I mean, probably is the answer. Probably is the answer. However, everyone voted for the Haunted House. Excellent. That's fine. I can totally do the Haunted House. I have a skein of variegated Halloween yarn, which I have wound. Full 100 grams. Halloween yarn, I think it's the last 100 grams of purely Halloween yarn that I've got. Everything else is like Halloween adjacent. And I've got a skein of gray wool like. Why? Because this light gray doesn't clash with any of the colors that happen in here. And even at their lightest contrast, it's still a nice contrast. The only question I have left to answer for myself is, do I? You're not wrong, Jude. Fabric is just future clothes. The problem is I now currently have a wardrobe's worth of future clothes. I should probably get on making that. Is it going to stop me from going to Michael's, buying fleece for my sister, going to a fabric store and buying fleece for my sister's hat, and then probably accidentally purchasing enough for another skirt? Nope, sure isn't. I so easily derailed. So easily derailed. Do I, for the Haunted House cowl, make my background color, so the main color, the gray, and have all the color work and the variegated? Or do I make the variegated my main color and have all my color work in the gray? They're 2 very different looks. They're 2 very different looks. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I certainly have the yardage for both. I certainly have enough yardage in this gray because I have this and another ball of this gray. If I find that purple sparkle yarn, I'm definitely going to also make the Venomous cowl because that's going to be gray and then the color work's going to be in the sparkly purple, I think. Or the other way around. I could change my mind. I mean, do we know me? There's no set plan. That is my current debate. I can show you guys this. I cannot show you any progress on this because, well, quite frankly, it's a secret crafting project. So you can see the yarn. I got it wound. We're ready to go. I obviously don't have to wind this commercial ball. I can just pull and start going. I need to go grab some needly needles, which is fine. I need to go hunt down for needles for the Stephen West Brio Ripple. and get that started. I was supposed to start it tonight. Apparently, I'm making a spiderweb cardigan first. This is why I struggle with things. I'm so distractible. You would do the stranded and the variegated yarn and the main color and the gray? Okay. I need an influence one way or the other because I'm not sure which way to go. But yeah, I could do the main color gray and then do the variegated and the Halloween. Do I want to do all of the cowls at some point? Yeah, I want more Halloween cowls in my life. I don't currently have any Halloween cowls in my life, so I feel like that's important. Somehow I also need to crochet a brain. Got lots on my plate this week. But that is it. Like the only thing I worked on this week that was on the flippin' schedule was my Halloween sweater and the front panel for the mallow, which I really need to find the other front panel for the mallow. Okay. The big thing is, this is my last full week at home. Next week, I travel. So let's assume we don't run into any health issues. I don't have a down day. We'll work from best case scenario. I've got a weekend, 3 days? Monday, Tuesday. We're on the road Wednesday. So I got like a week and 2 days. Let's round that down to a week. Let's assume I lose 2 full days to getting my cat to my sister's house, getting myself packed, getting the apartment tidied up and cleaned and closed down to be gone for a week. Let's assume we've got 7 days. Let's work with 7 days. That's reasonable because I'm definitely going to have a bunch of extra cleaning on my plate to get ready to travel. Susanna, you agree with us? Okay. Gray main color, variegated for the color work. Okay. I think. Well, we know I'm going to finish the spiderweb cardigan because it's in my brain yelling at me aggressively. So I need to do that to get it out of my brain because it's the only thing I can focus on. I've got to clean so that other freaking front panel will bloody well show up. It's in here somewhere. I will find it. I find my broom every time I lose it. It just takes a while sometimes. Then I can finish off the front panel. I don't want to travel with the lace panel, the mallow. I wanted it to be done. Do you think I could do a lace back panel? Finish it in a week? It's a little over half done. Maybe? Maybe we go cardigan, mallow, back panel. Establish the brio ripple wrap. And somehow get through the color work yoke of a fingering weight sweater? Maybe? One of those is gonna fail. Dream big. What's the worst that can happen? I don't get it done. Listen, Asa, we all know I'm going to find another Halloween hole to fall into. I can take the granny squares with me to work on in the evening and put my hour in every day when I travel. That's not a big problem. It's because I've got the fingering weight, or yeah, I'll take the fingering weight one with me. They just make big squares, so I just need to throw a couple balls in a bag with the crochet hook that I'm using and the square I'm currently working on. That's doable. If I can get the sweater to the sleeves, then I can put it in the car with me. If I can't, then I can leave it behind and work on my wood woes while I'm gone because I don't really need to look at the wood woes to work on that one. So that's okay. Because car knitting, there's a lot of car this trip. That's fine. The Brio Ripple, I'm not sure if brioche is a car knitting thing with the ripple stitch. We'll find out. I'll see how easy it is once I get it on. I've got the yarn wound, but I haven't found the needles yet. I've got a bag of needles somewhere. I need to find it. So I think I'll do that. We always have the trusty old companion backup since I punched my microphone, my sock for bits and bobs. But like I know I don't ever work on socks with like a deadline in mind. I've figured myself out. I'm not a person who works on socks via deadline. I immediately drop the project and ignore it entirely. So if I do that and then I finish up, it's doable so long as I don't get too derailed. It does mean putting off the brain though, because I don't have time to crochet the brain before I go. I think it should be okay. I should be okay because I can also take my crocheted sweater with me that I'm working on because that's all in my head anyway. And if I've got time for some crocheting, but I don't want to do granny squares, I can work on that. Am I going to travel with like 3 weeks worth of projects to visit my mom for 4 days? Yes, yes, I am. Does this shock anybody? It really shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Now, the big thing is, where do I sneak in the haunted house skill? And my advent crafting, which I cannot talk about on screen. So that also has to be accounted for. I live in hope by the end of the month, Canada Post strike will be over, and I can put Elsa's advent in the mail for the advent exchange. If it's late, it's late. I have no control over Canada Post and what its worker at the and the union, so they need to hash that garbage out and get it dealt with. So I'm in wait mode for that. So I don't know if it'll get out on time. Thankfully, my other Advent partner lives here in the city, so I don't have to worry about it quite so much for her, and that's okay because both of us agreed that we would work on those projects later. Erin once she's done her super busy selling season, and me once I was finished with Asa's first, because we can literally meet up the first day of the exchange for Advent and exchange Advents. So it's a very relaxed time frame because we got very lucky and our names were paired together this year. So oof, that saves me. Why? Because, well, yes, I can use different courier services. I absolutely hate the other courier services. I prefer Amazon and Canada Post because Amazon and Canada Post do not seem to struggle with the concept that I'm blind. Purolator, DHL, UPS cannot, for the life of them, follow the instructions that says I'm legally blind. They will show up and ask for a driver's license for proof of ID if that's been checked off on the box, but they don't accept anything else. Or they'll show up and then they'll say, sign here and hand me a black box. I can't see the screen. I can't see the box. I don't know where the F you want me to sign. Or they want me to sign a piece of paper. They're like, just use one of your pens. Blind. I don't write things down. I cannot see the written word anymore. I don't have pens. I don't have pens. I have markers. So, like in a pinch, I can take an 8 by 11 sheet of paper and write a post-it notes worth of information on it in size 14 to 16 font to maybe see what's going on in marker because I can't see pen at all anymore, and I haven't been able to see pencil in years, like years. So I'm like, I don't have anything to sign this with. And then they get mad at me because it's my fault I'm blind. Like I'm like, I really don't like you people. I really don't like you people. Like, you are a right nightmare. You are a right nightmare. Right nightmare. I can just go to a Canada Post. They see the cane. They take the little piece of paper from me and then they go, do you even know what you're picking up? And I go, nope, because it's on a piece of paper. And they go, cool. And they bring it out to me and tell me what they're handing me. Or ask if I've got a bag if they know the box is big. If it's Amazon, it comes to my damn door. It comes to my door. It gets knocked off. It gets dropped. If I got to sign something, I open the door. It says I'm legally blind. The guy or girl holds out the thing and they go, are you comfortable with me holding your hand and putting your finger where it needs to go? And I go, absolutely. And I sign with my finger and we're off to the races. Why the others can't do that? I don't know. I don't know, but I wish other couriers weren't nightmares to deal with. However, I will wait. Canada Post will figure its snot out. Or it'll go belly up. One of the two is going to happen. And I'll work from there. But I'm not doing too bad for Advent. I'm doing great. I'm not doing too bad for Advent. I think it's doable. It's doable if I don't make it the dress. If I make the dress, all bets are off. So if I finish the cardigan and I really need to make the dress and that consumes Thursday, Friday, because like dresses are a 2-day project, that could throw a wrench in the monkey works. We'll find out. I found a new sewing pattern making company that goes from a C cup to an H cup in their pattern sewing patterns. And they get you to do the measurements and to their size guide, and then they tell you what size you are. So they do size 0 to size 32 dress, with age cup variations up to an age cup. It's made for women with curves, so I'm like, I might have to investigate them and see if they've got anything I might like to purchase, because I would love to have patterns I don't have to heavily adapt for sewing fabrics and stuff. I'd be okay with that. I know I do a lot of vintage stuff and I like the vintage stuff, but sometimes what you need is a modern look. Sometimes you need to look like you're from the 60s. Hang on. I've got the name. We've got. Nope, that's not what I want. Are you what I want? Cashmerette. Let's see if I can pull up. A spelling for cashmerette is CASMERETTE. Cashmerette Club. I was watching Stephanie Canada make a dress from them, and I enjoy Stephanie Canada's videos. So she had a link, and I followed the link. They're good. Okay, I was worried because I haven't used Cashmere before, but I was like, I don't know if I want to sign up for like the monthly club. And then part of me is like, yeah, but the masterwork videos could be nice because there are some techniques I don't know, and some techniques I've used like maybe once or twice. So like a refresher video on them probably would be a good idea. But then it's a monthly pattern, but it might not be a pattern I want. So like, do I just buy a pattern individually, or do I try the club out for a couple of months and see if I like getting a pattern and for new things to try? So I don't know right now. It's sitting in a pile of things I need to make decisions about, but it's the Cashmerette Club, and I like the dress that Stephanie Canada made. The neckline was too high, but if the only thing I need to alter about it is lowering the front neckline, I can also pick a different neckline if I get that dress. But the pictures are very hard to see, so I think I need to wait till Erin comes over, and then we need to take a look through them, and she can describe to me the elements in the photos, since obviously they do the very exposed, very bright photos. So like I can't see anything on them, or if I can, I'm catching like the glimpse of an outline. So I need someone to tell me the base elements for the structure of the items. But I am intrigued by the idea of being able to get a sewing pattern or a PDF of a sewing pattern and going and getting it printed at Staples that is designed so that when I size, it's meant to accommodate my boobs straight up. And then all I'm doing is adding extra length to the arms or to the torso. So for the length height situation, like that would make me way happier. And be a lot better to work with. So that's my hope. But I'm gonna poor Erin. Hey Erin, did you know we're looking at patterns on Thursday? We might be sewing a dress. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm gonna start with the cardigan, the spiderweb cardigan, and I'm going to write notes out where I am so far. Because if I can whip that out as a nice quick blog post for everyone for Halloween, I think that'd be a great deal of fun. And then once that's done, then I'm going to get my freaking Halloween sweater going. I need to get through the ribbing. I dropped a stitch in the ribbing and I can't for the life. It was fine. It wasn't the first mistake I'd made in the ribbing. It was like the 8th mistake I'd made in the ribbing. So I was like, that's it. We're not even 8 rows in. We're just ripping out. We're starting again. So that's what I did. Why? Because it's really nice yarn. I want to showcase it properly. But in the poison colorway, I can't see a dang thing. I get this impression of really deep, rich green. That's it. There's no stitches. I do appreciate that they're real-sized women as their models. I do appreciate that. I was watching Stephanie Canada put it together, and I was like, oh, hello. This is good. They have proper armhole sizes, which is nice, because that's not the case with standard patterns. So I'm like, oh, I like this. I like this a lot. So I am very intrigued. I like what I've seen. I just need to see if there's any patterns that I would like. Like overall, if the vague impression is, yes, I enjoy this and there I could pull a lot of staples from, well, then I'll do the club. But if it's like I really only like 2 or 3, I will just buy the 2 or 3 that I like, if that makes any sense. You know? The big thing is I need to be careful to make sure that the ones I pick fit how I like to present myself within fashion. So that'll be a personal determination. However, I am absolutely willing to look at any pattern company that works in real sizes and for women with curves. There is more than enough out there for people who might not be quite as tavern wench keeper designed as my body type happens to be. They have options. I don't. So like I'm excited for more options. I mean, I'm still contemplating doing the walkaway dress challenge from Stephanie Canada, which she did like years ago. Part of me still wants to kind of like email her and go, I'm gonna try. But I don't have a fabric in my fabric collection that screams I need to attempt to be a 1950s 5-hour or less dress make. I just don't. I just don't. I have beautiful fabrics in my collection. I've got one that's been yelling at me for years that it needs to be a fall coat of all the drama. Haven't made it. It's striped. It's red and white. We had to know it was going to be red and white. And I think it would be an amazing, super flared coat of epicness for the fall. I haven't made it. I have a winter coat that's 2/3 made from one of the patterns that my mom gave me that my mom had that I scaled up for my size. It's not across the shoulders, just in the height range for like the super depths of winter. And we really don't get the depths of winter anymore. So now I'm like, cool. I might, and it's a double layer coat and it's fleece on the inside layer and it's a fleece with a waterproof top plastic layer for the outside layer, and they're both silk lined, so they could be worn individually or comboed. It has a fur ruff on the hood. Thank you very much. I mean, quite frankly, if you're human, you can have real fur on places if you want. That is a choice you can make. At some point in your history, your people would have used fur. It's fine. It's just how far back you got to go. So I've got a really nice fur cuff around the face. We don't get to -40 anymore. Not long enough to make it worthwhile. So like I've never finished the details on it, the hem, the embroidery pieces I want to do before I seal in the bottom raw silk, like the silk on the inside. So like there's some stuff I got hems of skirts I should finish. There's a lot of things I should just get done. Hey, round is a curve. Melanie, round is a curve. Round is a shape. Round is a very good shape. Round means you know how to eat, and we don't have to worry about you starving yourself. So round is an excellent shape. I will never have a flat stomach. I don't want one. Round with legs. Oh no, Jude. Be careful. That's okay, we're done. So what do you guys have on your plate for this week? Do you have any big crafting goals? Are you already being distracted by a dress you have yet to make? Who's doing Halloween stuff this month? Is anybody else doing Halloween stuff this month? Anybody else doing like a Halloween cowl or a stuffed witch or that Halloween roam along? Am I doing a vest other than Asa? And we'll pretend I'm doing a vest. We all know I'm not going to get there. We all know I'm not going to get there. We'll keep pretending. No, no Halloween stuff for Asa. To be fair, it's going to be Halloween from now to like Christmas. So you're going to do the roam along, Tracy? Lovely. Susanna, February is a good month for finishing because it is short. Oh, fair. I do a traveling adventures. It sounds like fun, Jude. But I mean, any travel's fun to me. Ooh, that's really close, Melanie. Oh, you're almost done. That's excellent. I love it. So it's just me who's crazy and going all the way in for Halloween. Fair. I assumed toe, not tie. Because tie on a sock makes no sense, but toe on a sock makes sense. Okay, so it's just me for the Halloween. Fair. 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 I do need to take some pictures of the apothecary table where it sits now. So I've got some from when it starts. I've got some with some stuff on it now. I need to put the skull back on it first so that my mom can see where I'm at with the design for that and she can help me fill in the rest. Also means I gotta take some measurements so that I can sketch it out on a piece of paper if I had to for her. I'm gonna do that before I leave. I have to track down my brother-in-law, get him to come pick up a monster. I have to secretly pack the monster so she doesn't know she's going somewhere. Otherwise she gets stressed. And then I get stressed because she stresses me out with her stress. It's a complex circle of just down the drain if I let her go off on a tangent. What else? I think that's about it. So long as I can get through the cleaning so I can close the apartment down. So when I come home to a clean apartment. That's the kicker, right? Like you come home and you haven't gotten everything done. Oh, that weighs on you so bad. But if I can come home to a clean apartment, I will be a happy, happy camper. So I really want to do the dress. Crap. I think I'm doing the dress. Yeah, I'm going to go find the fabric. I don't have a pattern. I know where my pattern paper is. I wonder if it's time. I've got an old baby doll dress that I don't wear anymore. And that's pretty much what I'm looking to recreate with like maybe a little bit less ruffle, like a little bit less ruching. So maybe I pick that apart before Thursday, pin out the fabric, trace it out as pattern pieces. Maybe that's what I do in the evenings. Set up the patterning table and get the pattern traced out. So on Thursday, I'm ready to look and cut fabric because I know the fit's great. And if I trim up the pieces as I'm pulling it apart carefully, I will just write in marker on the brown craft paper that I use as pattern paper. I will write no seam allowance so that I know I need to add a seam allowance to the pieces. Maybe I do that. I would have to make my own bias taping though, because you want your bias tape to be as stretchy as the fabric. Oh, making your own bias tapes is just a pain in the ass. But it's really the only way for a good, clean look, especially with jersey knit. You'd think it's a commercial made baby doll dress, so I'm just gonna cut where the serge line is and then everything falls apart and it's fine. If it was constructed better, then I would have to be more careful with it and pick it apart with a seam ripper by hand. But this is a commercially bought, mass marketed baby doll dress from the early 2000s. It's just serged on the inside. There's no finishing. So pulling it apart, stupid easy. Once I get started, it's going to be nothing to have it pulled apart. So that's actually going to be the easiest part of the whole process. When it's a complex or a very delicate fabric or something I'm worried about wrecking, it goes to my mom, who's been slowly over the last year and a bit helping me by pulling apart a bridesmaid's dress I once wore. I don't have time. You're not wrong, Jude. I don't. I'd have to hand make the bias tape. Because I don't have a stretchy bias tape. Well, you say that now, Susanna. You haven't met my schedule later. I'm technically also collab streaming literally this coming Saturday with a friend. So like I'm even got an extra day of streaming this week. And a movie night for Patreon members. Guys, you can do me a favor and hit the like button. That would be super appreciated. Oh gosh. All right. I'm going to go chat with the people on Patreon and Discord for a little bit. I'm going to tell them my woes. They all like enabling me over there as well. I hope you guys have a lovely week. You're right. I don't have time for a dress. Stay tuned. I'm probably going to make a dress. I want to wear the cardigan. And the dark red and the gray will look so good together. Dang, damn it. It's fine. I can do it. I have to use my new basic sewing machine, as I've got a basic intro sewing machine because it works on dials, not on buttons and screens, and I cannot button and screen. I've got my old workhorse, which needs to have the electric cord replaced. It's a Singer, so I need to take it into the shop to get it replaced, and I just need to get it cleaned up and looked at anyway. It's due. I have my grandma, my hot old lady, and that's my treadle sewing machine. But for a knit fabric, it's my basic. My basic needs to get pulled out and changed over to the knit stitch, and I need to do some work on that and get it all prepped. Because if I do it right and I get the cardigan prepped, so long as I'm only working on the dress on Thursday, so I have to have colorwork charts started or a mallow lace chart finished by Thursday to be allowed to make the dress. Because if I take Thursday to make the bulk of the dress, and then on Friday, if I'm just making my bias tape and stuff, that's not too bad. Obviously, jersey knit, it's not like I have to worry about ironing it too closely. I can give it a quick steam and she's done. That'll be fine. And I'm not finishing the inside edges. I'm just going to sew them and do them down. It's not like they fray. They roll. They're fine. You don't need to. And if it was good enough for Victorians, it's good enough for me. And nobody sees the inside anyway, but myself. It's fine. And in jersey, it's not like I have to worry about making something with a zipper in it, because that stuff stretches. So it's a pull-on situation. I might. Only if I get enough work done by Thursday. If all of my back videos to release while I'm gone are prepped and ready to go, they are recorded. I'm editing them. Bye, Jude. You're crazy to do the dress for Christmas, but I want a different dress for Christmas. Bye, Melanie. We'll see. We'll see what I can swing. I will talk to you guys on Sunday. I will be post yarn show, so I might be a bit tired. I might be a bit froggy in the vocal cords, but we will make do. This Sunday I'll be here. The Sunday after I will be a bit froggy. So we'll see where I get on Sunday. We'll see what I've got to do, and we'll see how much Halloween I can crank out. Yeah, I'm already playing Halloween music. Excuse me. I gotta go video edit like a crazy person because just talked myself into making a dress this week. Guys, I love you. Until next Sunday. Don't forget to catch the little videos. Don't forget to like. If you're not subscribed, if you could follow, that'd be great. I would greatly appreciate it. If you always want to know what's up for the month, the program schedule is released once a month for free for all people who follow me on Patreon. You don't have to be a paid member. If you're a paid member of Patreon, there are additional perks. I don't know if you want more FaceTime with me, but that's primarily what you get. Otherwise, I will catch you guys the next time we see you. I'm going to say I'm Jocelyn. This is the Northern Knits Podcast. And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to craft.